Article, Ted Olson, one-time supporter of Guantanamo's military court, now says it was doomed. Basically him saying that doomed from the start. He doesn't see anyone getting a death penalty from this. Let's see. It's an open sore that needs to be resolved, said Olson, whose wife Barbara died on one of the hijacked planes. It can't go on forever. If these individuals are willing to plead guilty to criminal offenses against the laws of the United States and accept a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, then we will get to the end of this, he said, and hopefully that will bring about the conclusion of this long, unending chapter. Yeah, you'd think 20 years later, 21 years later, we still have no criminal investigation into the events of 9/11. So there you go. His wife was killed, and he's becoming more lenient on how they should be dealt with.
I'm hesitant to touch on that one, but he lost his wife and he got remarried 6 months later.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And there's always been rumors that his quote unquote new wife is actually his old wife with plastic surgery. If you compare the pictures, there are some striking similarities. So I never really went down that rabbit hole, but I'm just gonna put it out there.
I gotta see this now.
Yeah, I think I sent you the pictures.
Yeah, it's worth looking.
Barbara Olson. What's the new wife's? No, do we know?
That I can't tell you that offhand.
Let's see.
Red Olson's new wife.
Let's see. Let's go to the wiki page. It'll tell us where he remarried. Personal life.
Quick hello to JB and Miles and Ray.
Yes,
and
yes.
Sandra.
There we go. She died. Blah, blah, blah.
And that's her name, Lady Evelyn Booth.
Lady Evelyn Booth. Wow.
She's a lady.
Let's see what Lady Evelyn Booth looks like. Of course, they're not going to have any images.
No, they will.
Oh my.
Well, right there you can see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
There are some similarities.
Yeah. There are some. So yeah, rumors were swirling for a while that she only quote unquote died. And, for him to have lost his wife that tragically, I mean, I'm not a person to say how long you should wait before you get remarried. 6 months after a divorce, maybe. 6 months after become a widower, that you remarry that quickly, that alone seems a little odd. But again, who am I to say? And it's possible.
Well, it's out there. There it is. Thank you.
This is what it's come down to now. Don't look into the latest revelations, the biggest revelations that we've had since the pen bomb investigation. Don't look into the additional attempted hijackings of September 13th. No, don't look into how CIA manages to conduct a secret operation with the Saudi intelligence GID regarding al-Qaeda hijackers and operatives inside the United States. No, look into a double named Lady Booth. This is the ridiculous nature of the 9/11 truth movement. Now, of course, Sandra, right? She's stuck. She's stuck in a circle that entails Richard Gage and Barbara Honegger and all the other lessers, right? When it comes to actual truth, they rather not accept it. Accept the fact that, hey, planes were hijacked and the intelligence services either were facilitating behind it, allowing it to happen. No, to hell with hijackers, to hell with hijacked planes. Let's look into doubles. Now, just to basically dismiss this very infantile theory that you propose, saying that, Lady Booth could really be Barbara Olson. I mean, I really heard some ridiculous theories in my time with the 9/11 scenarios over the years. One of them being from Phil Jahan and those people at Let's Roll forums, where they believe that the people jumping out of the towers were actually FBI agents throwing mannequins, and that the towers were actually empty and no one really died. Well, this one coming from Gene and Sandra really is, this one has to be up there. So who is Lady Booth? Well, if you go to the website Kentucky to the World, which is a grassroots movement, deals with the Commonwealth, you'll see a little bio that's written on March 16, 2016. Now, Ted Olson married Lady Booth 6 months after his wife, I think it was his third or second wife, Barbara Olson, that died on September 11, 2001 on Flight 77. It says here that Lady Booth is an attorney currently living in Virginia. She formerly practiced tax law in New York and Louisville, Kentucky, where she also co-founded Meridian Home Medical in 1995. Since 2009, Lady has been actively involved in a marriage equity movement and husband Ted from the start of the landmark party case challenging Proposition 8 in California. She earned her BS from the University of Kentucky, JD from Georgetown University Law Center, and an LLM law degree in taxation from NYU. None of those people had no idea that this was Barbara Olson. In fact, this woman was Barbara Olson in 1995. Right? Has all these people fooled. No, I'm not really Lady Olson. There's no such thing as Lady Booth. Right? Then when you go to the Ted Olson Lady Booth wedding, and you scroll down, you see there's Ted Olson, there's Lady Booth, right? That's the picture that they show, which bears no resemblance to Barbara Olson whatsoever, no matter what they told you. And then you come into her family members, right? Here, sisters. She has 2 sisters, by the way. There they are. No idea that they're related to Barbara Olson. All these people, no idea, none. It's actually Barbara Olson. No idea. What a huge conspiracy. Maybe we should get Richard Gage to look into it. While raising another, try to raise another $5,000 for his fictional film about his court case. Right? All these people had conspiracy. This 9/11 conspiracy, huge. This is what you have been relegated to. This is it. As a father. No idea, right? No idea that he's walking down Barbara Olson down the Jesus. It's not funny. It's embarrassing. The nerve of you to say that you're a truther. After this? And not only that, you basically got to, you basically were in a rush to end the meeting or whatever. I don't know, doesn't matter with me, but I just want to address. I also want to address another thing that you basically raised. Here we go.
Ross, just for your benefit, I know there was a whole lot of email, blah, blah, blah going on with the Rude Boys, and I don't want to give them an ounce.
The Rude Boys is what Gene Laratonda nicknames me, Nelson Martins, DJ Thermal Detonator, Sean Russell, Darren Harvey, because we're sometimes we're very abrasive to people like Barbara Honecker and Richard Gage. I'm not going to apologize for that. They're frauds.
Of airtime. So I really just saw one message pop up that got through my filters, and I really don't care to address anything they have to say.
Rightfully
so. I would like to keep our chat in this show more towards news and activism and outreach, and really.
Well, wait, okay, you read the news. Activism, you talk about, especially the news. You read something about the Canestraro files you mentioned, right? And said, well, I don't know what to make of it. Well, of course you don't, because you don't know anything about 9/11, really. You just stay at ground zero. And you have minimal information regarding that, too. You just repeat whatever Richard Gage tells you, right? So you basically are just a cheerleader at this point. Your activism, I could say you're an activist. You're a real activist. I can't say that for many people. I've seen it. So I don't, there's nothing I could say wrong about you regarding that. But let's be honest, Gene. I mean, like I said before, when I addressed Ross Muir about him saying to me that my entire geopolitical premise is supporting the official narrative and it's false. Well, here you are basically doing activism with what kind of message are you bringing? Besides that the towers came down by an unnatural scenario, whether it's improvised devices, thermite, nanothermite, super nanothermite, or like David Chandler says, a bomb in every floor almost, right? I had no problem with that. What I have a problem is when you say that, well, maybe Ted Olson's wife is still alive. And her name is Lady Booth. And that, Flight 3793, who cares about that? It's irrelevant. Imagine saying that, right? But here you are basically saying that, I don't care what these guys have to say, the Rude Boys or whatever, right? Which is fine. It's fine. But you entertain people like Ross Muir, Sandra Gelmy, who do, like Ross Muir did last week, said my whole geopolitical, all I said to him was in those emails, I said, look, Ross, show me where I'm wrong. We weren't even rude to him. Maybe Darren said some offhanded remark. But I wasn't. I said to Ross, I was very detailed in my response. I said, look, I'll listen to what you have to say. Where am I wrong? Because if I'm wrong, well, tell me where I'm wrong. So this way I can correct it. If it's, verifiable. But you just tell me I'm wrong doesn't mean anything. Here, let's keep
Do
playing.
not give them time of day to be able to obfuscate and just infight. We just don't need it. Really don't. So,
Yeah, no, I
you
completely
should have said
agree
no.
with that. I was hoping you wouldn't even have brought it up, but I didn't. I haven't opened any of that email chain either.
good.
I don't
Figures.
participate with those people anymore, and
You never did.
but I did notice that I got 26 responses, whatever they were saying. There was 26 back and forth.
Yeah, that's
So I'm wondering how I could have been that. It's pretty exciting and that interesting. I was like, wow, my very clear, simple statement really did.
A clear, simple statement. You said I'm wrong. All my geopolitics is wrong, right? All information I'm posting is wrong. Writing, whatever, right? Everything's wrong. Even the podcast, whatever. Everything is wrong. How? I bet you've never seen one video of mine. How could you say I'm wrong? Because to Ross Muir and to people like Gene Laratonda and Sandra Gelmy and Richard Gage and Barbara Honegger and most of the people that commiserate with Gene Laratonda's WarRoom, they're no planers, no hijackers. When I say no planes, no hijackers, I'm saying that they don't believe that those planes were hijacked by hijackers. They believe maybe those planes were basically remote controlled drones, or that the planes are CGI. Some of these people actually believe that. Sandra Gelmy actually believes that plane parts were actually planted inside the Pentagon's walls in Wedge 1, and when a bomb went off, the plane debris actually exploded out into the lawn and inside. That's what makes up these people's minds. They would rather be more comfortable in living a lie than to accept the horrible truth, because then they have to do something about it. These people have to them, the maximum these people will do is basically go on a street corner in New York every once a year and basically scream at a bullhorn and yell that 9/11 is an inside job. Gene will actually go to court. I mean, he's done it before in the past. But what good is that activism if you're bringing a message of falsehoods and lies? And then you complain when the news media doesn't give you any attention. No wonder Spike Lee won't talk to me, says Richard Gage. Well, when you deal with fringe conspiracies and you surround yourself with people that pertain to those beliefs and falsehoods, people like Barbara Honegger and Scott Bennett, and a myriad of others over the years, no one reputable will stick with you, will want to be near you. So you're stuck at the crevices of the internet. Anonymity almost. You're irrelevant almost. Just about. That's why there's a new movement happening right now. It's in its very infancy stages, but there are some new young people out there doing podcasts, getting noticed by the right people. You're not. You're on Rumble. You're not even on YouTube anymore. We still are. Because nothing that we're posting is misinformation or disinformation. Now, I'll admit that YouTube does overextend its boundaries when it comes to people that they think is spreading misinformation. I don't agree with the whole support of eliminating channels or suppressing them. I want people to see what you're about, what you bring to the table. And if the public sees what you bring, well, they're not going to side with you because not everybody is a fringe conspiracy theorist. And if you bring stuff like Lady Boot is Ted Olson's, Barbara Olson, really, any message that you bring, they're just going to point back to that, and stuff like you said over the years, and there's a lot. They're going to say, you said this stuff, so why would I listen to anything you else say? And that's why me and Nelson and Sean and Ed Brotherton, and more so Ed Brotherton, who's been very active in trying to help you, not hurt you. You call us the Rude Boys because we are adamantly opposed to people who lie about 9/11, like Barbara Honegger and Richard Gage. You have spent thousands of dollars over the years supporting Richard Gage. So I know why you're not going to basically disassociate from him, which you should. You should. But you can't because you're invested with him. So you're not an actual truther. You're invested into an ideology, a person. You may believe that you're part of 9/11 truth. You're not. When you could basically say the hijackers don't matter, that hijacked planes don't matter, that what happened at Shanksville and Pentagon are questionable, that that Bob Olson really didn't die, you're not a truther. You're a conspiracy theorist, fringe conspiracy theorist. Maybe not in the same capacity as Barbara Honegger or Sandra Gelman or Ross Muir. But Gene, you're a fringe conspiracy theorist. And yeah, I'm not going to hear from Ross Muir because Ross Muir can't. He can't point out where I'm wrong. Is that what a truther does? Truther goes to people and say, oh, you're wrong. Well, how am I wrong? I don't need to tell you. Yeah, so, all right. I think that's about it, to bring attention to the public about what constitutes a truther and what does not. Well, you decide.